Hey, my name is Nicole and I'm traveling in a 1973 Volkswagen bus across the United States of America to 2 different national parks. I started off in North Carolina and I've trekked about halfway across the country, and I wanted to give you a realistic depiction of what it actually costs to do van life from the perspective of someone who's kind of gunning it to get out there to the national parks from the East Coast, which requires a lot of driving. So far I've driven around 1,200 miles. Okay, so the breakdown of what it actually costs to travel in a VW bus. This is excluding the initial mechanical costs. Although when I started a day into the journey, I heard a squealing noise. I believe that it was the speedometer cable. I replaced that cable, including having a mechanic install that for me. That was $84. Not too bad. All right, let's break it down into a couple different categories. Food, your gas, this is a gas guzzler. It also takes premium gas, so you can't just go with the cheapest gas. It's supposed to get 91, so what I've been doing is like half and half. So I will do like one tank full of like 93 and one of 89, and considering that good enough, because I don't want to do like the cheapest gasoline and have the engine do bad because of it. But I can't just be buying the premium all the time because that adds up so quick. Gas adds up quick, especially when you're traveling actively across country. I feel like a lot of people that I've seen do these sort of like breakdown of what it costs videos, they're doing it like kind of leisurely, only like here and there driving, but I'm like driving a lot. So I feel like this will be interesting perspective for someone to see and understand what I'm spending, because believe me, I am winging it. And I didn't realize how much I was spending. Like, I know that I'm going to spend the money, but like this is what I really want to do. So like, YOLO. You only live, right? So first, starting off strong, car wash. I went to one of those washing places where you can do it yourself, and it's like a big place with like the scrubbers and all sorts of soaps and polish and all that. I wanted to give it a good clean before the road, and that ended up being 4 sessions at $5 each, so that was $20 total to get my van pretty clean. Next up, food and kitchen supplies. I had a 2-burner propane stove. I still have not bought propane yet, haven't used it yet, a week in, but I went and got a lot of fresh foods because I want to prioritize health and wellness for me. Like, that's important, and so I'm willing to spend a little bit more on food to make sure that I'm at least getting my vitamins in and getting my nutrients and like eating veggies and fruits. I know there's like more budget ways to do it than this first haul, but I just wanted to start off strong with my health because it would really suck to get sick on the road trip or to have digestive issues. And the other thing is that I just feel my best when I'm fueled properly. And ultimately, since I'm not really eating out, it kind of equals out. And other point to make is that it's way cheaper than groceries on Oahu, where I've been living. So it seems like it's way cheaper, which is nice. Okay, that being said, on food and kitchen supplies, which includes Tupperware, bowls, some new silverware, that sort of stuff, and the food that I got for an entire week, $338.26. The big thing is like the upfront costs, because I didn't have bowls or storage or anything. Like, I had a cooler and I had the 2-burner propane stove, but I didn't even have the propane. So like, there are a lot of things I needed to get. Like, obviously if you're going to travel out of a van, you're going to want utensils. You're going to want like containers to store food in so that it doesn't go bad, it doesn't get wasted. I bought a lemonade at a cafe so that I could use their Wi-Fi for a couple hours. $5.18. Not terrible. Water, I was parched for water and I really needed it. $2.79. All right, gas. This again is the mixture of premium and regular. Came out to $327.30. But this is going for 1,200 miles in just under a week. And it's a mixture of the 2 different types of gas, so the 93 and the 89, which of course is more than your typical gas. I'm used to going the cheapest gas, but you can't do that in this bus. You're not supposed to anyways, and I don't want to test that out. So the total for this week, $693.53 plus the $84 at the mechanic that I didn't add in. I did have a lot of upfront mechanical costs, but that was kind of on me, and I feel like I'm definitely learning how to do stuff for the bus. I'm better at deciphering stuff, but actually doing it is kind of harder. And I'm definitely not perfect, but I really enjoy the process of getting better. And the other thing that I can do as far as food that'll make it still somewhat healthy but also more budget friendly is divvying up and doing certain weeks where I'm like heavy on the peanut butter and jelly, doing like bananas for a cheap fruit, going in and doing more curry packets because those are like $2 or $3 a pop. That's a whole meal, especially for hikes. The other thing that I can be doing as well is oatmeal. Get a big bag of oatmeal or with like a Costco size of the partitioned pieces of oatmeal and just do it that way, because I feel like that would be a good way to go through some oatmeal, get some solid meals in that are full of fiber, which will help keep you full and focused. When I went to Costco, I got a couple of like snacky things because I realized when I'm on a road trip, I'm going to want to snack while I'm driving. And also a lot of the food that I tended to go for was very easy to make because I didn't want to be spending a lot of time cooking. I wanted to go ahead and do a lot of driving this week, and I wanted to avoid eating out in that process of driving a lot. So I was like, I wanted things that I could literally grab and go. So one of those examples is this Olave protein brownies. Again, it's processed food. It's maybe not the best, but also not the worst. It doesn't have that bad of ingredients, and they're pretty good, I would say. You can taste the protein batter a little bit, but it kind of tastes good. And I got one of these packs at Costco, and it gave you, I think it was a dozen for 20 bucks. So again, that's more in the pricey end. Same with like protein bars that I bought. Those are more like they add up fast. But like bell peppers, I got 6 of them for $6 at Costco. So that's not bad. I got like a big pack of spinach, I got dressing, I made salads, lentils, just really focused on health and things that would fill me up and make me feel good. I also want to note that like the past 2 weeks I've been living off of like peanut butter and jelly, oatmeal, and like rice cakes and peanut butter. Lots of peanut butter. I just did a group trip with some friends in Iceland, and there were 10 of us amongst 2 SUVs, and we did it super budget. And I literally lived off of those and a bunch of protein bars. So I just wanted some real food. So give a girl a break there as far as like it's not always going to be that expensive. And the other thing is the gas guzzling this week. Way too much gas. But again, all the national parks and things I want to do are more western, and I started out on the East Coast. So you can kind of expect and guess like that's going to be a big upfront cost. The other thing you can do, which is nice with a VW bus, is some people told me this is bad for an engine, but I've had mechanics tell me it's good to do, and I've done it because it saved me gas. It's like you can put it in neutral if you're going downhill, and you can just coast all the way down the hill, and then you're not using gas. It's kind of nice. I've been doing it. I don't know what you guys' opinion on that is, but I hope this helps give you a more realistic depiction of what actively traveling in a van actually costs, because no one really talks about this. They talk more about like, oh, it's so cheap and like all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, what do you guys pay in rent? Because that adds up quick. But again, the slower you travel and the less time constraint you have, the cheaper you can make it, because you can go fewer places and you can span out the time, so then you don't, even though you're going to have those costs of like going to all these places, it's going to feel less than that. And of course you have a place to sleep and a place to stay. For places to stay, so far I haven't had to use any campgrounds or anything. I did park at a Planet Fitness, which was 24 hours. I thought it was good. I worked out. I was going to work out in the morning again, and then I got kicked out at like 4 a.m. So I was like, okay. So I drove down the road a couple miles, parked in a neighborhood, and then got up a couple hours later, left, parked in a neighborhood right now, and then I also have reached out to different friends along the way, so that way when I get close to them, I can stay and park with them. And then the other thing that I've been doing too is like at those travel center gas stations, they have a lot of lights and there's a lot of truck drivers that park there, and I felt pretty safe there versus like the rest station areas, because they at least have people working there, and so it feels much safer if you're like close to the door. And like obviously it's a lot lighter out, but I just literally like bundle up in my sleeping bag and cover my head, and I'm like good to go. So again, you just have to kind of choose where you want to spend more and where you want to budget. And like when I'm in a pinch, it's definitely going to be more oatmeal and peanut butter and jelly, and that's fine. That's great. But I do think that having fresh fruits and veggies is a luxury, and it's really, really nice, and it feels really good to be able to do that. Again, it's not all the time thing. Also, I think that once you buy them, you're like, I need to use all this stuff up. So that was kind of stressful. But I just used it all up, so that's great. I have some cut up bell pepper left over for tomorrow, and I still have some beetroot. I've been eating beetroot every single day because I got a Costco size pack. So little things like that you learn, and now I'm gonna avoid beetroot for a couple of weeks because now I'm just eating too much beetroot. But it's been fun. I've got a little wooden bowl that I've been using to make my meals. I'll show you a few of the different meals. I like the lentil packs. I do need to focus on more protein brownies and lentils, not really cutting it, but for not having to cook, pretty good. So you don't always need like a ton of protein every day. I do like to get more protein. I'm gonna figure out a solution for that, but at the same time I don't really want to cook because it just takes so much time. That is all for now. Hope this helps.